podcast is going to be a power-pack conversation because on the hot seat with me is UAE's first female boxer, Fahima Falaknaz. Thank you so much for joining me today, Fahima. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for calling me, Tauhee. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Before we, let's give a proper introduction. So Fahima is UAE's first female boxer who's participated in the Asian Games 2018.
Yes.
And now she's on the board of the Olympic Committee in UAE. So that's a lot of roles and heavy duty roles. How does it feel to be on these platforms? Because that's not somewhere we see a lot of Emirati women excel in.
It is a responsibility, and you need to give it your time. And yeah, it's not an easy job.
So how did the boxing come along? Because that's not something probably you've grown up seeing, right? Women doing as much.
Yeah, it wasn't really introduced in the UAE for the past years. But as a little kid, I used to...
so let's go back a little and start from when you first...
Yeah, because it all started when I was a little kid. I used to watch Bruce Lee films, and
yeah, I think we all grew up on that.
Yeah, he was my inspiration, and I was always like imagining myself in the movie, as
doing his
a warrior, Wonder Woman, doing action movies.
So action was your interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we used to watch the WWF, like at every house that was on all the time.
I grew up watching the Royal Rumble, the summer. Oh my God, there used to be a couple of these major events, right?
Yes, yes.
The
Undertaker, Shawn Michaels.
Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Yeah. So we know a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So, that was something which I was really interested in, especially sports. So I was... like any kind of sport would grab my attention, and I would be interested, and I was very active. Unlike the other girls, I remember I was being told to wear like a nice dress, like a proper girl, But I was always in my sports outfit because I was moving a lot.
Okay.
So I can't be in a dress,
in a dress.
Yeah.
You cannot be confined and restricted in a dress.
So even when I'm wearing my my school uniform, it's a long one.
Okay. Yes.
But underneath, I'm wearing my sports clothes.
So you're just ready.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Like I was very active, and I loved martial arts. But specifically, I didn't know what I wanted, aside from loving, what do you call it, Shaolin Kung Fu. So these kind of sports we didn't have in the UAE.
Okay.
And then the second challenge was that I wasn't allowed to be trained by a man. And most of these sports...
Even when you were smaller?
No, we used to go to karate classes. My father used to take us, like me and my siblings, to karate classes, but then we didn't continue because of the school exams and everything. So,
added to that, being trained by a man.
That was fine because I was still...
Small.
Very small.
Okay.
And then, when I grew up, as a young girl, like there was a fear, from the parents that they, of course, they cannot leave me in a male field and just leave me train by myself. But then in the college they introduced an aerobic class which had some boxing techniques, in the session, which I loved a lot, and then I got connected again. And then I continued the aerobics because
it kept you active and closer to
it contained boxing, the skills.
So that's when you realize, okay, boxing is something that is very interesting for you.
Yeah.
So you got a little later into boxing, right?
Yeah.
So why the delay? Like if you had identified your interest at a sooner point in time, why did you delay getting into the sport? Because you clearly, now that you've got into it, you've taken it to it so passionately, and you're taking it on a national level as well.
Yeah.
So why did that lag happen?
As I mentioned, it wasn't available.
Okay.
And then I never heard of it, to be honest.
Okay.
Maybe the except when we had our champion, the first Emirati boxer, Isa Dah, when we heard about him.
Okay,
So
so
that
that's when
was
it was the
something.
spotlight.
That was something, yes, very special. And then, yeah, I started thinking about it, but I didn't look for any class, to be honest. So then when I started having my job, I had my car. I used to go out and to the gym, so I had my freedom a little bit. I heard about a boxing class, and then I said, okay, I think now it's time.
Yeah. So do you think being from this region or being from the culture that we are in, do you think that actually hindered what could have been otherwise?
Not really. People's mentality has changed a lot, but
yeah, now.
Yeah, it depends on, you know, different people have different beliefs, different values. They still like some a few people will still be having their own restrictions. But
that is inevitable, right? You cannot fix everyone.
No. Yeah. But the majority have accepted it, and they said, "Wow, like this is something that we are proud of." You know.
But do you think that curtailed what could have been otherwise of a boxing career for you?
Like if
if you had started sooner, do you think it would have been any different?
Yeah, this is not an easy question. Let me. I don't know. It depends. Like, I had a fear of exposing myself in sports and in general because. But at the end of the day, I always say if you want to do something, no matter when it is, like no matter the time, people will accept it.
Yeah, as long as you are able to do it, right? You have to quench that. That you had.
Yeah, so regardless, the challenges will be there. So you have to go through.
It's better late than never.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you look at it, I don't know if you're aware of the top Indian boxer in India, Mary Kom. She started after she had her first child. And you know she's one of the top top names in boxing.
So it doesn't matter when you start.
Yeah, but you will get there.
You will get there, yes. Yeah, regardless of the challenges, there will be always challenges. Yeah.
So and how do you think after the first competition did you like when the hijab ban was lifted? Did you think you could take this further to other international games?
Yes.
Is the hijab ban still in place?
No. So ladies with hijab can participate now in boxing competitions
internationally.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a concern I have because my daughter, she does a lot of gymnastics, and she's only 13 now. But I know going forward, I don't know. It is as nice as a sport is, as nice as much as she enjoys it. It always worries me. How much longer can I let her be in that field, given the costume that they are supposed to wear? There is no leeway.
Yeah.
They have to dress in a certain manner to be in gymnastics. So now that at this point, I'm not thinking of her going to an international level, but I don't want to stop her.
Yeah, let her just do it. Yeah, as a passion.
But again, this costume that there is in place for gymnastics, it's very worrying. It's discerning for me. Yeah, so that is something, I don't know why there is so much restriction on what you should wear or not, as long as the person is able to perform well, right?
Of course, yeah.
So what are your plans? Now you're on the Olympic Committee. So how do you intend to change around things, or how do you intend to take forward the sports in UAE for women?
So one thing I should mention that I'm not I'm not doing any competitions anymore for now.
Okay.
For some reasons, personal reasons.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get myself more knowledgeable about boxing and teach others what I have learned. So and also take boxing courses. So that I can.
Break.
No, I'm not taking. I took a break from boxing for a while, to be honest. But then
because it was too tiring, or
for so many reasons, I didn't have time for myself, and then because I'm working, I have a full-time job, and then I have my own trainings in the afternoon, and then I don't see my family much. When I go to the gym every day, I have my tasks at home to do. So It's a lot of things. Also preparing courses for the women, and I used to do the kids classes as well, which I took a break from all of that just to restart, and refresh. So now I'm back, and I'm very excited to do more. So it's just about proper planning and task management, time management.
Yeah. So that's the reality nobody really gets to see, right?
Yes.
There is so much that goes behind building something huge.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like you have to sacrifice a lot of things in your life.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? We see it on different platforms. We see how easy it is or how glamorous it is. But the actual struggle that goes behind each performance or each delivery that you have, it's taxing. It's a big hit.
Any person you see on social media, like the achievers, there's a lot happening behind that, So a lot of challenges that people will not put there on social media because it's not really required, because people are sharing their
Best moments.
Not the best, but for example, I'm representing boxing, and I will present something related to boxing, and I don't want to shift the people's attention away from that, But for me, from what I've been through, like from my own experience, I try to get different angles into it. For example, I brought in mental health, which in some way people should know that these things exist. And majority of people are going through mental problems, but they don't talk about it. And that's something which people should be okay
discussing
about.
So how did you implement that mental health angle into this?
It's something that I was going through, and I wanted to present it as to bring it up to people, because like while growing up, I noticed that because when you are a little child, you know, because of the culture and society pressures, you think that you are going through all of this by yourself. It's only you.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that so many people are going through something, but they're not talking about it.
They don't address it.
They don't address it, and most of them, they feel ashamed to say that, oh, I'm going, for example, through the depression. I have anxiety. I have, which should be okay, and that's why, like, I'm trying to make it to let people see it, and to feel that like no pressure of bringing these matters up, you know, because people need help. I see a lot of people, they need help, but they don't admit, you know, which is really stressing out. So you can't be with...
Also, you know, it's not easy, even when you admit, for the people around you to accept, and they'll be like, no, how can it be? They're always in denial, like, you know, even if you confide to the person closest to you that you need help, it's difficult for them to accept, like, you know, what could be wrong, right? They don't see it from that perspective, or from the angle that you're going through it in.
Yes.
They may look at you and wonder what could be wrong. You know, you seem to have everything.
Yeah, like you have everything. Why are you feeling that way?
Yeah, maybe it is just in their mind.
Yeah. So especially when the people who are close to you, and if it was a friend, for example, then what will you do? Who should you trust? You need someone to talk to. Even if there is no therapist, you know, you don't want to go to a therapist, it's very important to find a person who can listen to you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you just have to find a person who listens to you, and we should be good listeners as well to those people.
Yeah, I think a lot of ways then when someone disconnects, you're like, okay, like, let them make the first move. But you don't know what the whole backstory is.
Yeah. So maybe that person just... maybe they are waiting for you to say, hi, how are you? How are you doing? How was your day?
To make the first move.
Yeah, and then they will start talking, because they will know there is someone who understands them and someone who's listening to them. So this is the main thing which people should should really be okay about in their life, because this is the core of everything. If you are not well mentally, you can't perform.
You can't perform. When you're not well mentally, nothing else.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing else matters. No matter what you do externally, physically.
Of course.
It's of no, like, there's no value to it.
Yeah. So you need to look for treatments or other alternatives that can make you feel good, and you need to know what's going on with you. Maybe you have an issue that you need to solve. So there are special people who can help you with that, and it's not only for example psychologists, neurologists. There's so many other things that
yeah. I think that area is so broad now, but because I think slowly it is getting there, but because of the lack of I say information, or lack of attention to that area, people are not aware of the options that are available. There are different types of help available, not necessarily, because the moment you say you're going to see a psychiatrist, or you're going to see a psychologist, it becomes like it's blown out of proportion. It is so it is seen, looked down upon, not looked down upon, maybe you can say it is like pretty much taboo still.
Yes.
Yeah, so the different options, the talk therapy and everything that can help.
Yeah, I was guiding myself. I was learning, I do a lot of research. I do a lot of, I read a lot of books, and that's how I guide myself. I try to educate myself away from telling the family or friends what I'm doing or what I'm going through, because as you said, most of the people will not understand, especially in the old days, It was very difficult to...
Now, because there is so much attention and so much spotlight on this, people have come around to hearing it more, so it's still okay.
Yeah.
Back then, and like, our parents are still out of the question,
Of course, they were never
saying.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm like, are you serious? Like, look at you, what could be wrong? I totally relate.
Yeah, like it's so dangerous. You don't know what's going on in someone's head. So some people might think about hurting themselves or hurting other people.
That is the instant thought in my head, what's wrong with these kids? But especially in a fast-paced culture like today, it is so much harder for the kids to thrive.
Of course, like, especially in this social media world, there's a lot of competition. The kids want
peer pressure is like insane.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter, like, I have two teenage girls, and the kind of stories they can come back with from school, I'm also worried. I mean, like, is it them that their story, like, it's so worrying, because I understand it's so difficult, as adults ourselves. The social media space is crazy for us to even navigate through, right? I cannot even imagine what the kids are growing up into.
Yeah. It's so difficult.
So that's a lovely initiative that you're doing. I mean, like, especially giving back from what you've learned, that is the most rewarding, because you resonate and connect so much with what could be what could the kids be going through.
Yeah, of course. And I see it as a gift, to be honest. Like, it was very challenging throughout the years to reach up to where I am today, and this level of understanding and maturity, it wasn't easy. So I want to bring this up to the others. So I want to share my experience with the new generation, and like, try to fix
what could go wrong,
and start from the beginning, so that later on things will
addressing
be
the
easier.
issue before it actually happens.
Yes. I give people advice, but which I know that will work for them.
Because what's worked for you.
Yeah, like,
I think that's the best teacher, right?
Yeah, and you don't have to be a life coach to make someone feel better or show them the right direction. It's just listening to them and to give them trust. So the person who is talking to you about his problem, he should trust you. He should know that you will listen to them.
And you're a safe space.
Yeah, and then you will give them, like, maybe one advice will change their entire life. So you don't advise them directly. You ask them questions so that they answer themselves, and they know what they have done wrong, and they should change. I need to focus.
You just need a little guidance, to push you in the right direction.
Guidance, yeah. And this is something I learned from, I took actually a mental health first aider course.
Okay.
So you ask the person questions and let them answer themselves. That's
it's also very difficult to answer these questions.
Yeah, it will be very difficult because you never question yourself,
And to find answers for yourself is the hardest.
Yeah, because you don't want to admit the truth. That's the reason.
So true.
So when it will take you some time to answer yourself, but at the end of the day, you will say, yes, actually, I have to admit it. Like you will talk to yourself and say, yeah,
These are areas
true.
that I have to address.
I need to accept this because
the reality.
Yeah, and I have to change it. That will have a stronger impact on the person than when you say, do this.
Exactly. That'll have the strongest impact no matter like all the advices that's given to you.
Yes.
Unless it, it rings that bell in your head.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, of course. It's only you. You can change yourself.
Yeah.
Like we can help you by asking you, guiding you.
Asking the right questions.
The right questions.
I think I spoke to someone about that. It's all about asking yourself the right questions.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people, 100 people can advise you and have no impact unless you ask yourself the right questions.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting to know that, you're able to guide kids also. So I think that must be more fulfilling in many ways.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you have a powerful persona. You're on a boxing team. You're on the Olympic Federation, the committee. So do you think, is that why men find it difficult to approach you? Or are you very intimidating?
To be honest, that's what I found out lately,
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, like, because one of the guys told me, like, Fahima, what are you doing? Like, who will propose to you? You are punching people. I said, no, I'm not punching people.
I won't punch you, rest assured. Yeah.
And why would I get married to someone who is scared of me?
Yeah, right. That doesn't make sense, of course.
Yeah. So it's not about walking on the streets and punching people for no reason,
I think, the men should get that message right.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're going to pull us.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a sport. Okay, for example, when let's say if a normal woman, she's threatened.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't know how to box, she
instinct.
will. Yeah, of course. Even a mother, being a mother, Yeah, of course. When it comes to your protection and your kids'
safety.
Yeah, of course, you will do anything, even if you don't know how to box or you are not a sports person. So the power is there.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you don't have the power.
Yeah.
We are doing it
as you have extra power.
Extra, yeah, of course.
Yeah, not the power.
The power is, when you know how to punch, there comes the power.
Yeah.
It's about the technique. So, of course, we are teaching women the proper techniques to be safe.
To be safe and to be ready.
Be safe, ready. Yeah, especially for me and for other women who travel solo.
Yeah.
They have to be careful. Like, I'm not saying that you will go and get yourself in trouble, but God forbid, like anything happens wherever you are.
Yeah. It's always good to know or not.
Yeah, and it's not only that. When you play such a sport, it gives you self-confidence. Like when somebody sees you, they know that, you are, like there is something different. You're not weak. You're not so it's a nice sport.
Now, coming back to how do you think you can address the issues about like the men?
You are worried about men, okay?
No, I'm just curious to know. I also know it's very difficult in the American culture for the men to approach.
See, I don't know what people think, but I personally respect men. I've always been respectful to men, and it's not like I'm doing this sport to intimidate men or to show that, I'm a woman, I can do what men can do. No, it's not about that.
Okay.
It's a sport which I enjoy, I'm interested in. It's my passion, and I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not going to punch my husband, for example. It will never happen. It's about respect. Yeah, like you have the techniques of boxing, but you know how to when and where to apply it. I never had any clash with anybody in my life. I never had any fights with anybody. So
unless it's in the ring.
In the ring only, and that was very difficult to accept. Like to punch someone. There was something that holding me back. There was a resistance. I said, "Oh my God, should I punch or not?" Yeah. But then we got used to it. Even when I was getting punched, the ego was like,
shattering.
Yeah, the few first times, I was about to cry, like my tears were like just there.
Oh my God.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
But then when you practice, the more you practice, you will come to know that, oh, this is something, yeah, you got yourself into it. It's a sport.
Yeah.
And this will change you a lot in your life. Like I was different when, totally different before I started boxing. So the punches will teach you a lot of lessons.
I heard the same thing from another guest of mine. He was also very much into boxing. And he said the thing about boxing is that because you know you are powerful, you have it in you, there is so much more restraint and discipline.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much the other person tries to irk you, you know in one punch you can give it back.
Yeah.
But then you don't take it out. Because there is he was saying, there is a very innate amount of self-discipline that comes with this sport.
Yes.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. It's on a personal level, it will change you 100%. It's like what happens to you in life.
Teaches you.
It teaches you.
And boxing?
And boxing, it teaches you physically, Yeah. And on a personal level, you will change.
So hypothetically speaking, after you're married, do you think you'll give up on boxing?
I don't think so, because I'm not getting into fights. I'm not doing any competitions. I mean, it's something. What I'm doing now is giving back to the community. So I don't think this thing will stop. I don't want to stop it. And for sure, if he will approach me being who I am, he will understand like what I'm doing, and of course he should be proud of it.
So let's move to quick takes now. So you give me quick answers on a scale of 1 to 10. How daring is Fahima Falaknaz?
10.
10. Given a choice, what would you do differently in your life?
I would have started things that I was having fear of earlier, and
like what?
Making as much as mistakes as I want, like without feeling ashamed or feeling that I am less than anybody else.
I think that's a feeling we all grew up with,
Yes.
And there are a lot of parenting hacks and parenting classes now to instill that sense of value in your kids, to not constantly compare and say that.
Yeah.
But somehow at the end of the day, as parents, subconsciously, you tend to do that.
Yes.
So that's something you do differently. Go experiment and make all the mistakes.
Yes.
So what is an advice that you got you value deeply?
Advice I got, or I gave myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Take the first step, and things will just start happening. If you think about it a lot, you will just keep it there, and you will never do what you want. So if you have a passion about something, just go for it without having any fear. And believe in yourself.
So just quickly to digress, when you realized that you were having issues, how did you address it? I think that's the point where a lot of people struggle. How do you finally accept it and deal with it?
I was never addressing any problem that I used to have, because my surroundings were never understandable. So they would never understand what was going on in my head. I was very ambitious. Like, imagine being a little kid, you have an ambition to reach to the moon, and then people will not have the capacity of accepting this kind of idea. They will think that, oh, she's just dreaming, but you know like within yourself that you are
Capable?
You are capable, and you are how do you say it? You are sure about it. So you want to do something, but others will not believe in you. Then you will start being quiet and do your own take your own path by yourself. So that was something difficult that I was facing.
So when did you actually sit down and say, okay, now I have to take a break from boxing and address these issues?
Take a break from boxing. I took like big long breaks in between, you know. Like every now and then, I take a short break to refresh and to know what I should do differently. Because there will be times when I do everything because I want to do everything in one go, you know. But that doesn't happen.
You exhaust yourself.
Yeah, I exhaust myself.
So what is the first thing you notice in someone? Going back to finding you someone, what is the first thing you notice when you see someone?
Like I like a confident person with a funny personality. Yeah. Someone who is relaxed.
Someone who's relaxed.
Yeah.
Who knows his way through.
Yes. And non-judgmental. Very important.
Very important. I think now it's a given, right? What is Fahima's must-have criterion in her partner?
Why are you making it so difficult?
No, these are things obviously you must have thought about.
He should value and value the woman that he has. He should know her worth. And then everything will
I think
will fall in place,
that is sorted, the foundation.
Respect. Yeah. So if he knows he has a queen, then everything will be fine. He knows he will know his job. Yeah. Like I don't ask for more.
No, just someone who's going to see you like a queen.
Yeah, because that will sum up everything, you know. So respect is very important
in any relationship.
In any relationship, like take your time, but find someone that will know your worth. You know.
And that's a good one. Take your time, but find someone that will know your worth.
Yeah.
What do you think is your superpower?
My mind.
Yeah, how you're working on it. It's always a constant work process. So you said boxing changed you.
Yeah.
How would you say boxing has shaped your life?
It gave me more confidence. Like it gave me more awareness about myself. Being in the ring, in the toughest situation, you know. Facing the champions, and you I didn't have enough experience compared to the champions who I was in the ring with. It gave me a sort of you know, that feeling of strength. And on a personal level, of course, talking about the ego, that made it slightly easier, you know.
It leveled the grounds.
And like in so many areas, in focus level. And to be honest, I'm someone who gets like my mind is
easily distracted,
all over the place. I get distracted easily. I forget a lot.
Okay.
So this helps you
give you focus,
be more managed, have confidence. That's why I always encourage people to get their kids from early age into boxing, not because they are going to hit anybody and punch anyone, but because it will give them so much confidence in the school that focus for studying. In case they are going to be bullied, they will know how to tackle it, like not to go and fight it back with their hands, but how to say it, they will be more grounded and take it easily, you know, not to be offended. Although it affects kids in the school, you know, but boxing will help you to shape your personality.
Maybe that is where this will come in place, that to know that if they want, they can give it back properly. That self-restraint,
and they have a confidence that, okay, I can do this, why should I why should I care about what they are saying? So that's very important in
that confidence that you are powerful enough to completely overpower them, but yet I won't. And that puts you on a higher pedestal.
Of course. It will make you a better person.
Wow, that's interesting. Maybe I should try that for my son, who's now 10.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much, Fahima. It was a lovely conversation. I think we went beyond boxing. It was good to know that all the struggles that come on any platform that you're on, no matter how successful it may seem. I love bringing such inspirational stories on my podcast, and thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you so much, Tauhee.
Yeah, thank you.
you.